Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Sheep Get Sheared Podcast, home of people, politics, and popular culture. I'm your host, Austin Creed. I want to welcome you to the show this morning. I had a really interesting night last night. I got to talk to an amazing gentleman. I won't name him, but he was an amazing guy. I met last night. We had a very interesting conversation for about 3 hours. He was an older guy, talking to him about his life, his difficulties, the trials, politics, religion, everything you can imagine. And it was a very interesting conversation. And the more I talked with this gentleman, the more I came to realize a lot of the things that I believe, they make sense. And the older generation learns them, you learn them when you get older. What am I talking about in particular? Because I could pick any number of things out of the conversation that I had with him. He was great. But the one thing that I really wanted to pull out of the conversation, no pun intended, was this conversation about men and their discipline around sex. Because strong men turn down sex. You heard me right. They turn it down. They don't just go looking for it all the time. No, strong men refuse. They don't accept. Because the more I talked with this gentleman, it was very interesting to hear him talk about how when you get to a certain echelon, you realize that it's just not all that. When you're young, you fiend for it. It's like a drug, and you want it, and then when you've had enough of it, you're like, being special. This is not worth what I'm giving in back. I'm not getting as much as I'm giving. He would tell me about the stories he had from Las Vegas, in Florida, in Massachusetts, all these places, right? And he would just tell me that at the end of the day, yeah, you could hand people a couple of bucks. He could be a sugar daddy. He kind of done the whole thing. And it was a very interesting conversation because it made me realize how ahead of the game I am with my philosophy of being a biblical bachelor and saying, you know what, I can engage in those things, but it is not what it's chopped up to be, and it should definitely not consume your life. Because at the end of the day, gentlemen, I know when we're younger, we think that, my worth is defined by how many women I've had between my legs and how many of them want me, how many of them I put on the track, how many of them are out here fiending for me, thirsting after me, liking my pictures on Instagram, the standard crap. Let me tell you something. Women don't know what to do with a man who can turn down sex. They don't know what to do with him. They think, what? He's turning me down? What? Men don't turn me down. I turn them down. They don't turn me down. What is this garbage? This is impossible. Women don't have leverage over a man who can turn them down. Because most dudes can't wait to get up in there. They can't wait to get her back to the crib. They can't wait to get a chance with her. And so when you're not one of those guys, she's going to think to herself, I don't have leverage over this guy. I got to go. And let me tell you something. Let her go. Because guess what? She was just trying to manipulate you. Now, I'm not talking about, this is part of the gender war and blah, blah, blah. No. There's no such thing as a gender war. It's all social media hype. And as someone who's in social media as their job, trust me, I know what I'm talking about. It's not real. It's only on the internet. Are there some people out there who hold grudges? Are there some men out there who don't like women? Yes. Are there some women out there who don't like men? Yes. They're outliers. They are not the main core. They are not the main stream. It is only the outliers who actually hold disdain for the opposite gender. Me, I don't hold disdain for anybody when it comes to, I understand too much to despise. I understand how women work and I understand how men think, and that's why I don't despise either gender. And yes, in my opinion, there's only two. Go ahead, see if you can sue me or for hate speech, you bum. Yeah, I took a basic biology class in middle school and high school. Yes, I learned there is only male and female. I don't want to hear this double talk from you communist bums trying to tell me about all these different genders and whatnot. You can go F yourself. Those are my pronouns, F and you. I'm sick of this garbage. Anyways, getting off track. Let's get back to strong men refuse intimacy. The reason I say that is it gives you power. It proves that you have options. Because like desperate man would never turn down. He never turn it down. He never turned down a chance to get lucky. He never turned down a chance to get some. But a man who's had his fair share, who has a rotation, or even just has stuff going on in his life, for God's sakes. You know how much time I spend on this show, editing the show, preparing for the next show, writing, doing homework, all that kind of stuff? That's most of my day right there. Then add going to the gym, add responding to emails and editing my next coming up books. All that stuff, I ain't got time to just be out here thinking about, I can't wait to get more punani. Oh, come on, bro. Look, if you're a guy who hasn't had a whole lot of experience, I understand. That's why I'm not mad at you. I understand why you're at where you're at. Trust me, I was there once myself. But I want you to know, you will come to the same conclusion that I have. Whether it's 10 years from now, 10 months from now, doesn't matter. You will come to that realization at some point. Might be because of your hormones, it might be because you've just had that foresight. And it doesn't matter. I'm telling you, most of the older gentlemen I talk to, by older I mean like over 50. Or over 6, or just about to turn 60. But the older guys that I talk to, they all tell me the same thing of, yeah, I was really thirsty back in the day. I was not so sure about settling down or whatever. And now they're thinking to themselves, I could be out here in the streets, and honestly, some of them have. I won't name them, but some of them have. And I don't blame them for that. That means they're human beings with needs. Everybody got needs out here. I don't understand people who pretend like, oh, me? No, I don't have needs, bro. I have a full control over every facet of my being. I don't have needs or lusts or nothing, no. Oh, please, spare me. Save it for someone who would buy that rubbish. But, gentlemen, your worth is not defined by your Johnson. Pause. Your worth is not defined by your performance in the bedroom. It is not defined by those things. Now, the guys who, be slanging out in the streets will tell you, oh yeah, man, I laid that pipe down, son. Yeah, man, I'm out here getting it on, son. And yo, son, like, I got the best Johnson in town, son. They'll be using those kind of language with you, and you just gotta say, you know what? That's great. That's wonderful. What else you been doing? You been trying to build an LLC? You trying to hustle? You trying to do anything of actual substance? No? Yeah? You out here trying to become a better person? Yeah? You out here trying to become, stronger, better looking? Yeah? At the end of the day, the people who spend the most time chasing after the hoes, trying to chase the validation of women, at the end of the day, they're the most unhappy men and most insecure men out here. And I don't say that to insult you if you fall in that category. I want you to wake up to there's more to life than the 10 minutes, 2 hours of passion that you have. First of all, if you're a dude who actually has stuff going on in his life, you ain't got time for 2 hour rounds, 1 hour rounds. You ain't got time for that. If you got time for that, you kind of a bum, to be honest with you. No, I'm not saying you give someone the 5-stroke special. What I am saying is, look, man, if you have stuff to do out here, you're not going to be fiending over it. You're not going to be doing that because you have you're practicing sexual transmutation, number one. Or number two, you've had the discipline to go on semen retention. 60 days, 90 days. I did it for 90 days last year. And it changed my life. Because it helped me regain control It helped me say, you know what? I'm not down bad. I'm not thirsty. I'm not doing anything like that. I decided that I was in control of my own energy and my own essence, and I said, I gotta prove it to myself, and I did. Now, it's commonly referred to as monk mode. I call it like a Marine monk mode, where in basic training, that's what it was kind of like for me, where you had nothing else to do but focus on the task at hand. And that's what monk mode does for people, is it gives you that reboot to establish discipline in your life where it may be lacking. And that takes sacrifice. That takes you willing to say, I'm going to give up something that I really like for my own good, for a short period of time. I'm not saying forever, but you need to regain control. Otherwise, it will control you, and it will direct you right to the gutter, right to the fast track to nowhere. Trust me on this. I've lived it. And there are many other men on this side of the internet who have also lived this lifestyle, who have also practiced this, and they will tell you very similar things as to what I just said. My friends, I want you to become the best version of yourself that you can. I want you to be strong. I want you to be robust. I want you to be filled with excitement and zest for life. Do you understand how much nutrients is within your sack? Do you understand how much primal energy is within there? I'm not trying to get vulgar. I'm not trying to get too spiritual. But I really want you to understand how much power you actually have and why you're just giving it away for nothing. And now, before all the prostate cancer people jump in my chat, I want to tell you, I'm not going to sit here and say that's wrong. What I'm going to sit here and say is it's a sacrifice for the short term to regain control. How much do you actually think you could do it? Because the more people I hear bringing that up, the more I think to myself, you're using that as an excuse because you don't want to sacrifice. You don't want to better yourself. You don't want to even sacrifice it for a little bit of time because you just don't want to. And you're hiding behind that as an excuse to say, instead of saying you don't want to, you're hiding behind that. And that's disgusting, quite frankly. My friends, strong men turn down sex. Weak men fiend for it. Boys can be bent to others' will. Men stand strong like steel. I mean, look, this is the fact of reality. If you're hard to manipulate, you're a dangerous man. If you're hard to be pushed one way or another, people who are going to try to pull one over on everybody around them are probably not going to associate with you, which is exactly what you want. Also, when it comes down to it, men who are of like minds will find each other. If you have this mindset that I speak of, yeah, you'll be alone for a little bit. There's no question about it. But that's not bad. There is strength in solitude. I wrote about it in here. Whole chapter about it. I'm telling you, this is how you level yourself up. Is you have to decide who you want to become and then go after it. Don't sit on your hands. Don't wait for the right opportunity. Don't sit back and think that it'll just come to you. No, my friend, it won't. You need to go out there and grab it. Because anything worth having won't just fall in your lap. Won't be given to you for nothing. Law 40 of the 48 Laws of Power. Despise the free lunch. My friends, if you liked what you heard today, feel free to support the Patreon page. Feel free to order a copy of Biblical Bachelor. If you think you're ready to take this step, do you think you're ready to better your own life, step out of the traditional rat race, and give yourself leverage, options, opportunities? I suggest you get this book. I'll be honest with you, it'll probably trigger you at the very beginning because it'll confront you with a lot of very uncomfortable realities. But after you get through the uncomfortable realities, you get to the meat, the red meat, the good, and that will change your life. Follow me on Twitter at Sheep Get Sheared. I spend a lot of time on Twitter. I enjoy it. My friends, God bless you. God bless your families. God bless America. Go out there and win. I don't want you to be a victim. I want you to be a victor. Peace. I'm out of here.